Hey, what's up everybody? It's Josh Thomas here from TheBitBlock. Welcome to another discussion video with myself and my good buddy, Rogers Base.
What is going on, everybody? And I can't wait to hear Josh yell about how much he hated this Direct, even though I loved it and thought it was amazing.
That's pretty much the way things go around here these days when we're talking about Smash Brothers.
Oh, man.
So, Roger, the final Super Smash Brothers Direct went live today. We both watched it. Very different reactions, as you said. Yeah. Let's start with you. So go down the list of characters and the list of everything that they talked about. What are your thoughts?
All right, so when it very first started, and we saw Corinne, we saw the little bit of a Fire Emblem trailer, I was like, yo, don't tell me you're adding another Fire Emblem character and that's going to be that. Like, don't tell me that this is the last character they're adding and they're bringing Fire Emblem up to 6. But then the more I thought about it, the more I actually think it makes sense that there's a lot of Fire Emblem representation in Smash Brothers. Because really, Fire Emblem would have never been successful in the United States or in Europe if not for Masahiro Sakurai. If Marth and Roy were not in Melee from the get-go, that series would not have become the sales juggernaut that it is now. There's no way. It was already big in Japan, but it never would have been as big as it is now in every single territory if not for Masahiro Sakurai. So I understand why there are 6 Fire Emblem representatives, and it still kind of bothers me that there's only 5 Zelda representatives, but 6 Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, you know what? I understand. A lot of them are different enough now. Like, I get kind of the anger with, like, Lucina and Marth, but honestly, it's like, who cares? They're clones, like, it's just one extra character they threw in there anyway. It's not hurting anybody. And honestly, I think Corinne actually looks like a really cool fighter and plays much differently than the other Fire Emblem characters with all her dragon moves. And I say her because I'm never going to play as the guy version. I'm only going to play as the cute little waifu barefoot version.
I'm so disgusted in you right now.
Man. No, she's awesome. I love her.
What'd you think of the dialogue that they exchanged back and forth in the Direct? Did you like that?
I thought it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was really funny that they had the sort of like the back and forth dialogue between like, why are you going against these characters that aren't us, like your family? Why aren't you fighting with your family? It was like, I liked it. I thought it was good.
Okay. God,
You didn't like it?
My kidneys are hurting just from listening to you say this.
Get out of here. No. I enjoyed it. And again, I'm a much bigger Fire Emblem fan than I think you are. So maybe that's why I was 100%. So excited. I mean, unquestionably, yeah.
Did you know who
I think that's
Corinne
why I was excited. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is she already in a game, or is she in a game that's coming out?
So she's in Fates, which already came out in Japan, and is the highest-selling Fire Emblem game of all time in Japan. So I understand totally why they added this character. But of course, he or she, whatever you want to call her, still sort of like fits that mold that Roy did when Roy was in Melee. Because their game still isn't out yet in North America or Europe. That comes out in the beginning of next year. And to be honest, it's one of the games that I'm most excited about going into next year. I love the Fire Emblem series. Fates looks incredible. And yeah, I mean, it's like they're going to add more Fates music. And oh man, just knowing that we're going to get da 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 ba 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 da 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 da, which is like the theme from that game. Knowing we're gonna get that in the Coliseum stage, man, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Okay.
And their final smash looks incredible too, where she turns into that dragon thing. She turns into this like dragon thing and then shoots up this like hydro pump basically at all the other characters. It looks crazy.
Okay. All right. I mean, you know what my thoughts are. I think there's way too many Fire Emblem characters in the game. Like you said, there's more Fire Emblem characters in Smash Brothers than there are Zelda. We didn't even really technically get a new Zelda character, even.
Nope, we didn't.
So that's a disappointment to me. But, I'm happy for people who love Fire Emblem. I can't experience any joy from these characters, and I'm annoyed that there are so many of them. But I'm happy if you're happy. That's kind of my thought on that.
I will say this right now. I was talking with Tyler actually over at Disney Interactive and Keith and a couple of my other buddies, and one of the things that we discussed is with the Zelda series moving forward with Smash 5, I think it is inevitable that they're going to get another representative whenever the next game comes, and all of us were in agreement that there's no way Linkle doesn't become a playable character. There is no way. Linkle, Isabelle, and Inklings are guaranteed for the next game. I would put so much money down on the line that those 3 characters are going to get in.
Do you think that'll be the only addition to Zelda? I feel like they need to add like 2 or 3 Zelda characters in the next one.
I think Linkle and Impa are probably the safe bets. I would love to. I mean, you and me, I think, are both in agreement, and I know that we're in a minority here. But dude, move Tingle up from assist trophy to playable. Man, I love
Heck
Tingle.
yeah.
Oh, dude, I love Tingle.
That
I
would be
loved when you
amazing.
even did your make-believe video, and you were like, hey, what characters you want in Smash? And you put Tingle. I'm like, my boy knows me. My boy.
Tingle would
dude,
be
I
amazing.
love Tingle. Dude, he'd be great, yeah. But
Yep.
for the time being, whatever, I'm happy. I actually do really like this character. If they're going to add a Fire Emblem character, I'm glad they made them different enough. And actually, I kind of want to move into a little bit of a segue for you. I was less offended by them adding another Fire Emblem character when we basically found out all the new Mii Fighter costumes, and we saw that basically all the Mii Fighter costumes they've been adding to this point, King K. Rool, Inklings, all of those were indeed there to sort of let people know, like, hey, these characters aren't going to be in this game, but maybe in the future. Because when I saw, like, the Tails Mii Fighter costume, the Knuckles one, the Geno one, I cannot even imagine the salty tears that went online when they saw the Geno Mii Fighter costume. Like, because I know so many people are diehard Geno fans, and I'm sure a lot of people were really upset that he's now only a Mii Fighter and not a full playable character.
Well, considering, like, apparently how many legal issues that had to happen, like, to get Geno and stuff, like, weren't there, I could swear that there were other games where they're like, well, we were going to put Geno in, but, like, there was legal trouble to get him in a game. Like, Square Enix was really tight with Geno or something.
So Sakurai actually mentioned in the Direct about how now their relationship with Square allows them to put Geno in, but as far as I know, I'm pretty sure Geno is actually owned by Alpha Dream, which is a second party of Nintendo.
Oh.
Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure Alpha Dream owns the rights to Geno. So I don't really know what's going on there, but maybe, like, Geno's in this weird sort of, like this weird, like, licensing state, kind of like how Sora and the Kingdom Hearts characters are.
Yeah.
Because technically, Disney owns Sora. Square Enix does not own Sora. And if Disney wanted, they could put, like, Sora and Riku and stuff into Disney Infinity. But it's weird because Square owns specific rights to Sora. So, like, for example, Sora's outfit, like, Sora's outfit and Riku's outfit are owned by Square Enix because Nomura designed them. But the characters of Riku and Sora are actually owned by Disney. So it's this weird sort of, like, weird licensing ground there. So I don't know what's going on there, but
really confusing.
yeah, it's super confusing. But regardless, you know, I'm happy to see Geno represented in some form. And I do really like these Mii Fighter outfits. I downloaded all of them immediately after the Direct, so.
How much do those things cost?
I mean, I got them with the bundle, because I was going to buy Cloud, the Midgar stage, and whatever the other stuff was anyway. So I just bought the bundle, and it was fine. I think they were just, like, basically the equivalent of, like, 50 cents. So
How many Mii Fighter costumes are there then? Wasn't there like 99 or something? They
yeah,
went
I
through
have
the
all of
numbers.
them. I mean, I have all of them. So I just bought all the bundles. So I have all of them. I do them specifically for, like, troll videos, though. Like, when I did that King K. Rool troll video, I do them pretty much for that. Because I know eventually I'll be making, like, weird videos with, you know, like, Tails channel, famed YouTuber friend of mine who does, like, Sonic videos. I'm going to dress him up in the Tails outfit and have him fight with Sonic, and there'll be fun stuff, so.
Sonic fans should be somewhat happy with...
Yeah, for sure.
Because they got Knuckles and Tails was in there, and you can be
Yeah.
Sonic, so there's some Sonic representation there.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of wish we got a Shadow Mii Fighter costume, but whatever.
You know what I was actually hoping for? This was like the one thing that I was like, oh, if this is in the Direct, then I'll just be happy no matter what happens. I'm very sad and surprised that we didn't get a Chibi Robo costume for the Mii Fighters.
Oh, that is weird. That is a strange omission. And considering the fact Chibi Robo has an amiibo, that is a strange omission.
Yeah, and
but...
Ziplash just came out. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the game's bad, but I mean, it's a newer game. You'd think that they would have wanted to, like, promote the character a bit.
Smash 5, man. Smash 5.
He could have been a blaster, because Chibi Robo has his little blaster, so it could have been a gunner. What a missed opportunity.
Oh, well. I agree with you on that, but it's not something where I feel salty about it, so.
So the other...
though-
They talked about a couple more characters in this Direct. I guess
yeah,
we'll save...
I think a
Should we
big
save
one.
the big one for last?
We talk about the big one. Let's talk about the big one first. We can talk about Cloud later, but let's talk about the big one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you tell me basically what you thought when you first saw this trailer.
Roger, do you remember that we did a discussion talking about the characters we never want to see in Smash Brothers?
We did.
And one of mine was Bayonetta. Do you recall?
I do indeed recall. People were tweeting me about it when it came out.
I think that pretty much sums up my thoughts on Bayonetta being in Super Smash Brothers.
You have to agree, though. You have to, even if you hate this character, you have to agree that seeing Bayonetta in here is better than getting another Kid Icarus character.
Yeah, I mean, it's more interesting, for sure.
Yeah,
I'll
because
give it
like for
that.
me, when I did my live reaction to this, and the trailer started out, you even told me before we started recording this discussion that you felt the same way that I felt, which is when you saw Pit, you were like, "There's no way they're gonna put in like Medusa or Hades or another character." Because I like those characters, don't get me wrong, but like for the last fighter slot, there's no way they were gonna put another Kid Icarus character in. So
yeah.
And as soon as I saw the moon, I didn't even need to hear her speak. As soon as I saw the moon, I knew immediately, oh my god, it's Bayonetta. And like, while I agreed with you in that DLC discussion that I think there's like that Bayonetta would be a very strange choice, ultimately the way that he developed Bayonetta and made Bayonetta a character is perfect. And Bayonetta has history with Nintendo. She's basically a Nintendo character now. Platinum really wanted the character in the game in the first place. She looks incredible. From a competitive fighter standpoint, she looks incredible. Her aerial combos, everything. I mean, she looks like an amazing fighter. And honestly, I am very, very happy that she made it into the game, and I am not disappointed at all that she's the final character slot. Especially now that I know that like the Mii Fighter costumes were basically there to appease fans of characters that weren't going to make it in this round anyway. So I'm really happy Bayonetta made it in.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as Platinum Games characters go, would you prefer to have Bayonetta or like Wonder Red from the Wonderful 101?
Bayonetta 110%. Because Bayonetta's at least part of a series. Wonder Red's only been in one game. They got to make Wonderful 102 before we get Wonder Red in the game. That's got to happen first.
I think that needs to happen just to happen because I want that. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah. What? I guess those are the only other Platinum characters that there could have been, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, they could have put in Beautiful Joe, but Beautiful Joe. Yeah, but he's owned by Capcom.
Kind of forgotten too.
Yeah, he's owned by Capcom and Platinum, so I mean, they could eventually put him in, but no, I'm happy with Bayonetta. I think she looks really, really cool. I mean, I'm especially happy with the stage. That stage looks incredible.
I don't even remember looking at it.
So yeah, so her stage is the clock tower from the beginning of the original Bayonetta, where you're like falling through the sky, and then these other platforms like sort of levitate onto the stage. It's completely legal. There's no stage hazards, so it's actually a tournament legal stage. Oh, dude, it looks so good. Of course, Bayonetta has amazing music. So
can you just buy stages without the characters?
I don't think you can. No, not for the ones that are tied to DLC characters. No.
So like, if I just wanted the Bayonetta stage but not Bayonetta, I can't do that?
No, I don't think so.
That seems odd to me.
I think they do that to tie it in with like, because I know like Cloud, you need to buy Cloud to get Midgar, you need to buy Ryu to get Shizaku Castle. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make it the same way where you have to buy Bayonetta to get Umbra. So I don't know.
All right. So Roger, I mean, this is likely going to be the last time it'll be the last time we talk about Smash Brothers 4, probably.
Probably.
Which is
at least for
sad.
your channel. I'm not too sad about it, considering your feelings on the series recently. I'm not too sad that this is the last time we're going to do a Smash discussion. We got plenty of more discussions on the way, in terms of Splatoon and other Nintendo franchises, so I'm not really too bummed. Our discussions aren't going anywhere, and to be honest, you've been kind of upset at this series recently, so I'm not
what you were going to say. I've been kind of a what?
No, you've been kind of like, I don't know, you've been kind of salty about this series.
Well, listen, here's what I will say. Okay, this is my final thoughts on, the Smash Brothers 4 on the 3DS and the Wii U, before any of the DLC came out, I think is a fantastic game. I love it, right? It's the best Smash Brothers game in my opinion.
Yeah, unquestionably.
The DLC, like, literally none of it appealed to my tastes. I don't feel that I'm necessarily picky either. I just want Nintendo stuff, like the Nintendo stuff you think of when you think of Nintendo in a mainstream way. Mario, Zelda, even like Star Fox, stuff like that. Pikmin, Animal Crossing, that's my taste in Nintendo. And none of that, was represented in the DLC other than like a Super Mario Maker stage. Some of the returning characters were cool, but I'm not really the type of person who gets excited about characters that I can already play as in other games. Like, I love Lucas. He was my main in Brawl, but I have yet to download him just because I feel like, I've already played as him and I kind of have new characters to play as in Smash 4. However, I will say that at the end of the day, even though I am personally disappointed in the DLC and all that stuff, I'm happy for people that are happy. I want Smash Brothers to be very successful. It's a series that's very close to me. I grew up playing it. I still play it to this day. So if people are happy about Cloud and Ryu, and I'm thinking of the names, I'm honestly forgotten, and and Bayonetta, all the DLC characters, if that makes you happy, then I'm happy for you. I'm just not happy for myself about them, and I'm hoping that in the future we get more Duck Hunt Dog like characters, basically.
I will say this. I think for someone like you who doesn't necessarily like any of like the quote unquote anime type characters.
Yeah, I don't like RPGs. That's my big
the characters
problem.
we had as DLC. I will say, I actually think then this game was kind of made the right way. Because imagine if they added Bayonetta and Ryu and all these characters on the main cast on disc that like came with the game, and then you were forced to buy Duck Hunt Dog and, you know, well, I guess you're still kind of forced to buy Lucas even though it was your main, but like Duck Hunt Dog, Bowser Jr., these characters who you got really, really excited about when the game first leaked, you know, I think ultimately if they made those DLC characters, aren't you happier from a consumer standpoint that those characters were on disc so you didn't have to buy the DLC? Because for me, I'm going to buy the DLC regardless. And I personally, for me, I mean, we didn't do a discussion video about this character, about Cloud, but I mean, I lost it when Cloud was announced. I thought I thought that is one of the coolest things they could have possibly done. You know, Cloud versus Link is a matchup that people have wanted for years. So I'm ultimately very, very happy with the characters that we got as DLC. I think maybe they could have put in someone else as opposed to 2 Fire Emblem characters. But really, I mean, I like Fire Emblem, so I'm not going to complain about those characters. And they're both cool characters. I'd much rather play as the 2 DLC Fire Emblem characters than I would the ones that are on the disc. So, yeah, ultimately, I think this is the best Super Smash Bros. Game to ever be released, no question. Especially when you have all the DLC, all the Mii Fighter costumes, everything. And honestly, at this point, I think, like, Sakurai's got to retire, man. Like, I can't imagine what he could do next. I cannot imagine what Smash 5 is going to be like. And ultimately, you know, NX will probably get its own dedicated Smash Brothers game in, like, 5 years or whatever. But in the meantime, I am so happy with how this turned out. I think Bayonetta, Ryu, Cloud, man, these characters are just like, it blows my mind that these are even in a Nintendo game. So, and I will say this too, I think it's hysterical that these characters made it onto a Nintendo Smash Brothers game and stayed far the hell away from that garbage, horrible, shitty PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale game that came out. I think it's so funny that like Sony tried so hard to get Cloud and Ryu in that game, and those companies were like, nah. But then Sakurai reached out to them and was like, hey, I want to put Ryu and Cloud in Smash. And they're like, anything, Daddy Sakurai, anything for you. So,
they called him Daddy.
They called him Daddy, exactly. So,
I don't want to know how you know that.
I don't know. Yeah. Industry sources, my friend.
Okay. I see.
I will say this. Because we talked about this sort of like off camera. Mm-hmm. Who do you think, if you had to guess 3 characters, who do you think they're guaranteed to make it into Smash 5 when we inevitably get those games?
So, I mean, I think that Inkling is a given.
Agreed.
Boy and girl, you'll be able to play as either one. You'll be able to switch different like colors and costumes on them. There's no way, if there's another Smash Brothers, that Inkling wouldn't be in it.
Yeah, unless, I think Inkling would be in like the debut trailer. I even think.
Unless for some reason Splatoon's popularity dies overnight and nobody cares anymore, but that's not going to happen. No. I think, honestly, I'm going to go ahead and be a little wild here. I really do think that in the next Smash, we might see Banjo and Kazooie as one of the third-party characters.
I could see that too. Yep.
And then third, I would say King K. Rool? I mean, I know that was a popular one. That was one of the like popular suggestions.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't win the fighter ballot because Bayonetta won worldwide.
Do you think that's all legit?
Yes, yeah, because I thought about it, and the way Sakurai worded it, where he said like negotiable characters, what that says to me is I think like the first choice, probably the character that everyone tried to vote back in, was probably Snake. No. I think it was probably Snake. And I think ultimately they couldn't get Snake because of the legal mumbo jumbo that's going on with Kojima and Konami right now. Mm-hmm. So he's like, all right, well, let's look at the other characters. And then he probably looked at the characters and it was like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, like you said, SpongeBob, Shrek. And he's like, oh, I can't put these pieces of garbage. And the next character is probably Bayonetta. Bayonetta was #1 in Europe anyway. And he was probably like, all right, you know what? I can make Bayonetta. Let's make this a thing. And that's why he put her in the game. But I think ultimately she was like, because they worded it top 5 in North America. I think she was like #5 in North America.
They didn't mention Japan.
Because Japan probably had like a bunch of crazy anime characters like Hatsune Miku and stuff like that. So, yeah. And like Jibanyan from Yokai Watch and stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Quick question. I don't know if you would know this. Is the character model that they're using for Bayonetta, is that just the same character model as Bayonetta 2, or is that a different character model?
It looks new because she actually has regular proportions as opposed to her crazy giraffe legs. So
Giraffe legs.
yeah, well, what else do you call those? She's
No,
got
that's-
crazy giraffe legs in the games.
That's accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And then ultimately, before we wrap up, I do want to say I think the characters that we're definitely going to see in the next game.
Oh, yeah,
based
yeah,
on
you
the
didn't
Mii
go.
Fighter outfits. Yeah, I think based on the Mii Fighter outfits, I think guaranteed Inkling. No way we don't get Inkling. And I also think, and I mentioned this before in a different video, I think it is without a doubt going to happen that we're going to get Isabelle. I think no way we don't get another Animal Crossing rep. That series is huge. I think the only reason we didn't get a second one is because this was the first time Animal Crossing was added as a playable, representative. They added Villager. So I think ultimately we are definitely going to get Isabelle whenever the next game comes out. And then I think in terms of like a third-party character, I'm gonna agree with you because I don't really know how they could top these characters unless it's someone like maybe Banjo. So yeah.
I think, at this point, I can't think of any third-party character that would be as impactful as Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what if they added Yooka-Laylee?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe they could by that point. We have to see how the game does first.
Whatever happened? Man, all the Shovel Knight rumors and no Shovel Knight.
No Shovel Knight. I felt so bad.
Insane.
I felt so bad for that guy who I don't know his name, but he's popular on Twitter and he does like leaks and stuff. And he was saying months ago, oh yeah, my sources confirmed 100% we're getting Shovel Knight as a playable character, 100%. And then this morning, people just went in on him like so angry. So,
wow.
Sorry, dude.
You know, to be honest with you, I would have preferred Shovel Knight.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think I'm happy.
I don't
with
think he
Bayonetta
would have
over
been as
Shovel Knight.
big as like adding Bayonetta, but just my
Yeah.
taste, I would have been more into Shovel Knight probably.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? That's what Smash 5 is all about, I guess.
Exactly.
And Roger, we discussed this a little bit like privately, but you know, I have this new series, Make Believe, and it's all about make believing, you know, my own ideas for Nintendo games. I'm going to get around to Smash Brothers related stuff eventually, early next year, and you're going to react to it. I'm making you watch
happily.
the video.
You got to make full-on trailers, like full-on CG trailers.
They will.
Oh man, of course I'll react to it.
I'm looking forward to that. That will literally make my life to watch Roger react to a Smash Brothers thing that I did.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Roger, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure. Roger's Base everywhere, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Tumblr, everywhere. So yeah, follow me, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and subscribe to my man Josh. Man, he's been putting in work on those make believe videos.
All right, we will talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.